What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. I am a reseller on various different platforms, and I do data analytics on my YouTube and also on my Instagram. I have two analytical dashboards for the reseller. I sell them on Etsy. If you would like to look at your data as well and not have to worry about how to pull all the data together, it's a quick copy and paste, and you can put it into your data. I'm also doing, so I would like to look at what is happening for resellers right now. The economic climate is definitely different and changing with a lot of people becoming unemployed. And so what does that mean for resellers? To do that, I need sample data, and that means I would like your sample data. If you would like to fill out the anonymous survey that I have, it is linked down below on my link tree. It is completely anonymous. It's like 10, 12 questions. Just a quick, how many items did you sell? What categories were you selling and stuff? So I can do a high level sample data to look at it. And then once I look at the analysis, I will share it here on the YouTube channel. What is up, Deborah, Ashley, and Queen Bee? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. So I do want to say this is the first time this has happened in all of the lives that I have done. So I feel like that's a win. But I am supposed to have Chris from a Daily Refinement on. And I think our communication got messed up, and I'm hoping that maybe he'll jump on a little late, but I'm really thinking that the time difference got changed, and he's thinking that it's in an hour. Because we were going back and forth today, and now that I'm reading it over, I can see that there might be some miscommunication, and he is not here right now. So I sincerely apologize for any of the miscommunication. What's up, Jacob? Thanks for changing it back. I'm sorry. The foo-foo, once you said it, Jacob, it totally makes sense now. So you can change it back if you want, but I didn't realize that was you. So I really do want to thank you guys all for joining. I am sincerely sorry that Chris is not here with me. I will definitely figure out, I will talk to him. Eventually, we will touch base. I'm really thinking it's a time zone difference thing. We were going back and forth about it today, and I think maybe just some miscommunication there. Yes, Queen Bee, he does keep changing his name. And yesterday or whatever day, yesterday I was on with Denali. And he had a different name, and it threw me off. So I think he changed it back. Thank you guys for joining. Like I said, I do want to sincerely apologize. I will reschedule the live with him because I think that he does have a lot of really useful information, especially what's going on right now, some insight into that. And then we also have a big announcement to make. So I am super excited. I will definitely be having him back on. I don't know what's going to happen tonight, if it'll end up being tonight or if it'll have to be at a later date. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Make sure to hit my notifications and hit the little bell so you can get notified when I have new content coming out. Hey, Leslie. Leslie says, I have that time problem all the time with podcasts. Keep track of what coast people are on confuses me on occasion. Oh, there he is. So I think, oh, maybe there he is. I saw something pop up. Maybe I got too excited. Let's see. Is there a video? I think he might be here. And Leslie, there he is. Hi, Chris. Did we get the time change confused?
Yeah, it's my fault.
No, I think we were going back and forth with the Mountain Standard and Pacific. So I apologize. I'm glad that you saw this. I was stalling for a few minutes before we got started. Yes, no worries. It happens. That's the first time it's happened on one of my lives. So I'm actually kind of proud of myself. So Leslie, it says it happens all the time. I think I might have to get like calendar reminders and set it up so the time difference between everybody is there. But if you guys do not know, this is Chris from Daily Refinement. His content is amazing. I follow his channel, and he has a lot of really good, it tends to be a little analytical, which is probably why I like it, and straight facts. Lots of really good, helpful information. I'm going to chat to him a little bit about what's going on right now with resellers, the economic climate, and then we have a big announcement at the end of this to share with everyone as well. So Chris, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, maybe just a little bit more, what platforms you sell on and how long you've been reselling.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Sorry I'm late. So as far as the platforms go, I'm mainly on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, heavy on eBay. For now, I split my time between running a store of one-offs. I call this like the garage sale store, where it's a little bit of everything. And then I have replenishables that I work on that I'm contacting distributors and manufacturers. Ideally, the manufacturer, because I want to be the only person that can sell that product. So my reseller career is based on the concept of 10 items that sell 10 times a day for $10 profit. And that's a lifetime goal. So I'm hoping for one or two a year and then for 10 years of doing that. I like researching that. And I also like literally working with the manufacturer or the creator. So that's my favorite part of reselling. And then my favorite model for reselling is 50 to 100 items a week. That's the best you can find. So on top of that,
Amazing.
right, this is the model I love for everyone because it's super fun. So I just finished that online estate sale, and I picked up really cool stuff that I think is really fun. I like a Discman, two Walkmans, an old school two CB radios, which are actually really expensive. So I don't even like the it's like the breaker rate. I don't even know what that relates to, but I
Yeah.
know that's what those are from. So it's
So do you
cool looking at.
do a lot of electronics and stuff, or you do clothing and stuff?
I sell mainly shoes.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. But are you
Mhm.
trying to get, and this may be relevant, I think, to what we're going to talk about today, trying to venture outside of shoes and clothing
Mhm.
and getting into electronics and stuff?
And actually, the reason I'm late, I thought the call was a half an hour or an hour later, but I
Yes.
just got off a call with eBay. So eBay wants to do a collaboration next week talking about what is selling. So eBay is like 400% up. Some sellers are down, but the entire platform is on fire. Their e-commerce is insane. I mean, just think about how many people
Like
that there
shopping.
are that can't go outside. So they're going to go over the categories that are doing super well, and they're like,
Or
we need on my channel. They want to come on eBay. H headquarters wants to talk.
Yeah.
All of their eBay upfronts are being canceled because they can't do them.
Yeah. Right.
So they're going to reach out to YouTubers and try to say, okay, don't panic. This is what's selling. It's not easy to get, but at least you can look for like a pair of hair clippers that you weren't using.
Yeah.
But you're probably self trimming now, but you might launch it for used clippers are sometimes selling for 50, $60 now because it's just so people are cutting their own hair.
Yeah, things that you can't get. And that's something that, I mean, I want to talk about you today and then also follow your content as it continues, but how things are changing and where people can start, because reselling is not going to go away, but you may have to change your
Mhm.
business model. And I've watched some of your videos today or this week talking about it. And then obviously with eBay coming on as well. Um,
Mhm.
like you said, the economy, I think the last number that I heard, it was like 20 to 30% of people will be unemployed by the end of, I don't even know what month it is. By the end
Yeah.
of April,
Mhm.
was the last number that I heard. And so how is that, how do you see that changing for resellers? Like, how is that changing what we're doing?
So number one, I think a lot of those people are going to sell what's in their closet.
Yeah.
So I think if I asked the e-commerce sellers that are doing $1 million or more, what the trend is, they'll say that the trend is Amazon. If you're gonna teach your kids to get good at something, it'd probably be Amazon, not eBay. eBay is more fun, but as far as a career option, Amazon is bigger. So I would say right now is a good opportunity to learn eBay to Amazon. When it comes to Amazon, I don't want people to panic. I want you guys to start
Yeah.
small. The main thing with Amazon is just make sure that your account health is good. Everyone is ungated in used books. That's what I would start with. Everybody has a couple of books. Go on to Amazon. If the book you think is in very good condition, then mark it as one condition lower than that when you're listing it on Amazon, just so you can learn the flow. That's where I would spend a lot of time, because when you think about how Amazon treats its customers and the people who sell on it, it's very different. It's more professional. It's way stricter. And if you do that, it will greatly help your eBay business because you'll learn to
You'll
take
start like
things.
high-end strict, and then
You'll
your
be
day will be easy.
exactly when you move, and this is like people who sell on eBay first and then sell on Poshmark.
They're
It's
like,
like really, really easy because it's so different. It's so different.
yeah, so
So
let me check in with the chat really quick. Liz is
mhm.
saying she agrees we have the only game in town and people have time. She's selling games and electronics. And before you popped on, I was mentioning that I'm collecting data for what people are selling, what their March numbers look like compared to what their April numbers look like. So I can kind of do a large data analytics for resellers. I mean, you're getting data straight from eBay. I don't have that connection. But just looking at people, like, are you spending less time? And, all of the different things. I like data. I like looking at that. So I am pulling together that data to see where things are going, not just what's working for me, but like on a high level, what's happening. And I'm already starting to see that trend, like less clothing items, more like books, games. People are stuck at home, they can't go shopping, and maybe more essential type of clothing items, right? Like you don't need a Coach purse when you're at home, but you maybe need a new pair of jeans or your kids' summer clothes. Liz is also saying even full-time postures are now selling their own clothes. Stuff I would normally keep for myself is fair game now. And I think that's a valid point. I'm actually, and I want to talk to you a little bit, Chris, about this as well, as far as sourcing goes. A lot of my followers, and then me as well, do sourcing from thrift stores, and those are not really options right now. So what are your thoughts on, until, we can go out and the climate's better, we can do that?
I have some ideas.
Yes, I figured you
So,
would. So tell us.
this is the biggest idea. So, you can't go sourcing at thrift stores. So, what is open? Okay, so what is open? Necessities, essentials. So, Home Depot is open, Walmart is open, Trader Joe's is open, or whatever local grocery store you have. So, as an example, every morning I meet with resellers in my group, and what they are doing right now is they're going to Home Depot or Lowe's, looking at what's available, cross checking it on eBay. And this is going to sound unusual, but it's not. I placed an order through homedepot.com to get it delivered to my storage unit. Um, I ordered some shelves, and all of these are in stock. Okay, so the store has it. I ordered it on March 19th, hasn't shipped yet. So it's been almost a month and it hasn't shipped. And this is because Home Depot cannot keep up with the orders. They're not organized enough to do that. So you could go to Home Depot, list things on eBay for more than Home Depot, and fulfill them
Because
pretty
you're,
easily.
but how do you, like, I would have no idea where to even start going to Home Depot. I have no idea what to
Yeah.
even look at.
No, this is great. It's a great conversation because let's say you sell dresses and blouses, and now I'm asking you to sell for like tools and drills. It's not that super easy, right? I get it, but I'm
Yeah,
saying here's an example. Right now, something that's trending hardcore is gardening. Okay,
yeah,
I don't know anything about gardening, so what I've been doing is listening to sprouting podcasts. So people like the rage for bread is like sprouted bread.
yeah, right.
So I'm like looking into how to do that. So I'm learning about the industry and then cross-checking to see what people are using on blogs. And that's the same stuff that's selling on eBay. So I don't know anything about it either. So
Yeah,
that's why I want people to start small.
yeah,
And I'm pretty confident by the end of this lockdown, I will have a garden. And I'll have a 4 foot by 4 foot beautiful
yeah.
garden
It's
because
my father's dream.
I'll figure it out. And the two big hobbies right now are gardening and reading
So books.
books.
That's
Get
actually, so we're actually moving right now. And so it's funny that you say that about Home Depot and Lowe's, because we're like, we don't want to go to the store. So we ordered like boxes and packing supplies because we're moving in a week and a half, and they still have not come. And
yeah.
then on top of that, we were getting charged every single day because their system was haywire, that they were having a bug. So then my husband was on the call with them for an hour. So that, like, it didn't even dawn on me to like do that. This is why I had you on the channel, because you're on it. Let's check in. Jacob Fufu says, will bread and butter finally get the love that it deserves? I mean, are you not doing clothing and shoes now? You're kind of just, what you have is what you have, and steering away for that for the time being?
So I still have a quota for clothing, which is 400 items a week. That's a lot. I get it. But the 400 items a week is um, down slightly to maybe 200 to 300. So I'm still doing it, but I'm using the remainder of my effort looking for new categories. And again, I also have help. So the lady that is normally sourcing for me and listing can't source. So no more goodwill for her. So
Yeah.
for what I am doing is sending her stuff that I have about 2 weeks of inventory. So I'm about out now, but I'm now buying lots that are going directly to her. So online, I'm going on. Hmm?
Oh, go ahead. So you're doing like pallets and liquidation type of
No, I'm actually advertising to buy people's Poshmark closets. Right
their
now, people are their entire closets. So, and I've been successful twice now because from my experience running a Poshmark closet, Liz would know that it's not just shopping,
Yes, right.
but a lot of Poshmark sellers only want to shop. So who am I to stop them from just doing what they want to do? And then that's it. So liquidating your entire closet allows you to keep shopping. If you are truly a great buyer, then you're either going to make a little bit of money or break even on stuff that you're buying for yourself and reflipping.
Yeah.
So I purchased a 600 item closet last week. That's going to get us through a week and a half or 2 weeks.
I mean, shipping 600 items. How are you doing? How do you do the shipping on that?
Great question.
Um,
So on Mercari, there is a 24-pound box ships for about $20. This is like a Home Depot medium-sized box. So you'll have to tweak it and adjust it. Depends on the dimensions of the box and the weight, and it fits roughly 60 items. So 60 items for $20 is pretty reasonable, and
yeah.
that's how I've been bulk shipping. So I make the listing for $5. Buyer pays shipping. So as an example, today I did a listing for $30 and 46 cents because 46 cents was the tax on the $5 purchase. So Mercari charges 10% of the sale price. So $5, they charge 50 cents. And I'm paying 46 cents with tax for the tax. So for 96 cents, I'm getting a heavily discounted box to
Yeah.
ship a heavy amount. So you're taking advantage of Mercari's shipping contracts with UPS and FedEx, and they don't have that kind of deal on eBay, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
yeah, right, for sure. Well, and I'm not on Macari, so I didn't know
mhm.
they did that. Let me check in with the chat. Liz is saying, or Leslie, Reseller's Passion, says she loves Chris's business sense. I do as well, which is why I have him here. Liz is saying I'm getting to the stuff I've had on hand, and I'm going to drive halfway. Oh wait, they just moved halfway to Cali and pick up inventory from another PFF who has too much stuff.
Mhm.
Amber Resell says, I bought out a couple of people's closets before. I probably have turned down another 10 though, because the margin wasn't worth it. And that's kind of what I'm finding is, so we're moving. I'm not buying inventory until we move because I don't want to move things. We have a week and a half, but I'm starting to think about where I'm going to be getting it from. And when I've been looking at things, it's hard to find the margin because people are like, well, I want to make some money back and not lose it. And then by the time you do that, like, how are you finding these closets that are worth your time?
Good question. So the way I offer it is if it's random clothing, I'm just going to pay what I think about. I'm going to pay 20% of what it sells for. Now that's really low. So let's say an item is selling for $50. That means I'm not going to pay more than 10. So for a lot of resellers, that's not going to be enough because they're like, well, I paid 8 for it. I don't want to make $2 on it. But it depends on their situation. If they're trying to exit and get all of their stuff back and just cash out of their closet, it's fine. So I'm looking for convenience if I'm going to be paying that price. And then if it's going to be higher, I have negotiated two now that are high-end consignment. So the thing that I want to really understand during this shelter in place situation is consignment. So I'm looking into commercial software because I want to basically tell that person, okay, on a $50 item, I can pay you 10, or I can give you, let's say 15 to 20, but I'm not going to pay you now. I'm going to pay you after it sells.
Yeah.
So depending on the client,
A way to manage that is what you're saying.
I want the payment to go out automatically. I already know that that's going to be a nightmare to try to issue the checks.
Yeah.
But after doing some research, you'll see a lot of brick and mortar shops now. The number one thing that does this is always baby clothes. Baby clothing consignment stores exist everywhere. I didn't really know this since I don't have any kids yet, but this is a thing. Kids apparently grow out of clothes really fast. So the consignment model is a way for parents to get more money if they're not in a hurry.
Yeah.
And So that's something that I've seen work, and a lot of the software is based on baby clothes.
Because I've had people ask for consignment in the past, and I usually turn it down. One, because they want more for their money than it's probably worth. Like they're really attached to it and
Mhm,
to sell it for more than it is actually worth.
mhm,
And two, just the nightmare of keeping track of it. Like I'll do things for my mom, and even then I'm I'm like, I don't remember if this was hers and if I
mhm.
paid her or not. So looking at the software is really smart. Let me check in. I have to pay attention to the chat.
No
I'm
worries.
still working between the two and remembering that there's people here. Amber Resell
Mhm.
says, I've bought out a couple people's closets before. Oh, we said that one already. Queen Bee, Amber Resells. Hi, Amber, great to see you. Liz, my girlfriend is going to meet me between. Have you thought about, because I know a lot of people, so the two things that I've heard in a lot of like the user groups, thrifting, there's a lot of Facebook Live thrift groups where people are buying there, or like research or like sourcing from friends and family, putting things on like Nextdoor and Facebook Marketplace,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Have you looked into that, or are you more high level? I want an entire closet to.
I I value my this is gonna sound weird, but I try to value my time at least $200 an hour.
Yeah.
So, and I wanna at least double my money. So, if I'm talking to you, I better be spending $200 within this conversation, otherwise it's not worth my time. So, when you start offering people $200 to $1,000 to $5,000, they start divorcing their inventory. If you're like, "Hey, I'll take 3 things for $30," that doesn't no one gets out of bed for $30. No, like, it's not exciting. But being able to take the idea of starting over is very appetizing to a lot of resellers.
Yeah.
So, and also, like, I had
And then it makes
even
it worth your time too. Like
Mhm,
I hadn't thought about doing a complete closet, and people are, like you said, are probably more willing to go down a little bit in price if you're buying everything, right?
mhm, and if you meet them halfway, like Liz suggested, that's great. And you want to, like, as an example, this is a perfect example of what I just did, which was this estate sale that I did. I went through the stuff. I assumed, I'm like, okay, based on comps, I made an inventory. This is worth about 1850. So 1850 is what the stuff from this estate sale is worth. I would like to pay you 40%, which is high for consignment. So I
Yeah.
would pay you $720 or something for this after it sells. And I think it's going to take 3 months to sell. And the reason why I'm paying 40% consignment is because I want a long-term relationship with this company. I want to do these all the time. I would love to go to in there and then make $500 in 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
So
Call you first,
s-
and yeah.
so I want to pay more, but also you have to be wary of cash flow. When you buy random stuff, you have random results. So it's a little scary. So if I'm not paying for it, no problem. But if I have to use my own money, then it's scarier. So how I came up with it was, okay, I normally pay 20% for random stuff. So that would be like $380 for this. And you're gonna get 700 and something dollars if you wait. So the guy said, why don't we do 500 and I'll use you in the next estate clean out. So in this situation, I would have been fine paying 720
Yeah.
because I want this relationship to continue. And I also had another YouTuber show up and get the rest of the inventory and buy some stuff too. So it's interesting looking at the different ways to do things, but I do not want one off. Actually, I'm less interested in meeting I'm way less interested in buying someone's closet than meeting someone who loves the shop. I want someone who loves shopping and hates everything else about reselling, because that means they're going to keep sending me stuff, and
Yeah.
then it's way more worth it. And the lady that I bought her closet, she's a student, she's a shopaholic, amazing taste.
Sounds like like
Yeah.
the resellers out there.
So I don't, and she's like, this is the best thing ever because I can go to the Goodwill bins all day.
Yeah.
And I know how to look for comps, and she's a better photographer than
Oh,
me.
so you could use her photos too,
Used her photos, yeah.
which is brilliant. I've actually bought stuff off of someone else and using their photos. I was like, I don't mind spending a little bit more because you've already done all of that work for me. And she modeled her stuff too. It was amazing. I do want to be conscious of time. I could talk to you all day.
Mhm,
Because you have lots of
mhm,
really good information. We have a couple questions here. We
mhm.
are keeping this to a half hour. So my husband actually is on, and he says, Chris, do you do much market basket analysis in your business strategy?
Market basket analysis. This I'm
I
not familiar. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would guess maybe based off of the different, categories and
Yeah.
market.
So definitely.
Yeah.
This is why I would always pick if I were picking a category for, let's say, shoes is very um, broad. I would say that for me, if I could pick only one kind of shoe, it would be women's athletic shoes. And for people that don't know, women's athletic shoes outsell men's athletic shoes 4 to 1. It's totally different. The market is insane.
That's
You,
crazy. I would never buy. Are you doing used or new with tag
both,
one?
both.
Yeah, I would never buy used, maybe new.
Right. So also, if after that, I would pick boots because boots cold somewhere. A lady needs a great pair of boots. That's just the thing, right? And even if she has a great pair of boots, she could get another pair of great boots as long as it's a good deal. So I definitely segment it to figure out what's selling and what specifically you can focus on. Then I know now, right now, boots are cheaper than the second half of the year.
Oh,
So
like
you need
to buy.
Right. So you need to be wary of what's going on. Right now, sandals are becoming more expensive. People will look at my store and say, these sandals will never sell because you've priced them too high. And I'll say, I know because I'm waiting for it to get warm. It's not going to sell right now. No one is using sandals right now.
Yeah,
So you're waiting.
right. So let me see. Leslie's asking, is jewelry a good selling market? Do you do much jewelry or know about jewelry?
Yeah. So I love jewelry. Watches is my favorite jewelry category, followed by wedding stuff. So as an example, when I didn't know about wedding rings or big, so when I got married, I went to a restaurant, I just spent 6 hours in there. They had an eBay store too. I was like, what's hot, what's not? And basically minimalist design is big right now. So people like jewelry, but they don't want it to be cumbersome, and super ornate stuff is like costume jewelry. That stuff is less popular than minimalist design.
Okay.
Watches, silver. Now, also, after talking about it, I found there's a lot of US manufacturers of jewelry. So this is valuable because if you're worried about having to call China to have something made, you
Yeah.
don't have to do that with certain categories.
You have so much good information. And we do have to get to a big announcement, and that kind of goes into it. We do have a couple
Mhm.
more questions, so I do want to get to those before we cut this off. Um, Queen Bee says she worries about returns with consignments because I pay for them, and then if it comes back, I'm out until it sells again. So she only does it for her mom. And I know that I sell a little bit on Tradesies, and that's why they hold your money for so long because
Mhm.
of returns. Um, my husband's saying market basket is more like if a customer buys a burger, they will likely buy fries and a drink. Oh, so like
Gotcha.
bundling and
Like
stuff.
upselling.
Yeah. Um, oh, Amber says, Amber resells, Chris, if we wanted to get to know you and your business, which video of yours would you suggest we start with?
We need to go a tad longer, like 10 minutes longer, because there's a
I'm
lot of good questions.
No, I can talk more, but I know that you're very good about cutting off your time and spending time with family. So I'm being cognizant of your time. I can go
No,
a
no
bit
worries.
if you're okay.
So, let me address a couple of these questions. The upsell, when I was really trying to sell a lot on Poshmark, I've since lost interest in Poshmark, but when I was heavy Posher, I had a lot of $10 to $15 clothing items. Now, normally I would consider that a waste of time, but not on Poshmark because of the bundling feature.
Agree.
So the boots and a top, boots and a pair of jeans. When if you look at my closet and go way back to when I first started, my order size was like 3. So I was pumping in a lot of cheap stuff to get the extra order because 3 pairs of jeans for when one shipping cost is something that's very difficult to organize on eBay or Mercari. Poshmark Posh Post is the advantage on Poshmark. So
Yeah, you
you
can
need
get
to
a whole
use that.
bundle for like $7. I
Right.
really push
7-Eleven.
much. I push bundles a lot too. I mean, I have items specifically like if you bundle this, you will get this for free to buy other things. And I'm not on eBay as much. You can't bundle much on eBay. I'm slowly starting to learn.
So, and as far as trying to consume my content, it is really hard because there's like 800 videos now, and a lot of them are me just rambling. So I would
But
start
it's
with,
not rambling. Every video I've watched has been very informative rambling.
thank you. But I would start with the how to make $1,000 a week series, and then also if you listen to it on iTunes on my podcast, there's no ads. So for people that are just getting started, you want to, you know, I would recommend not watching YouTube because it's going to be very distracting. I would just listen to me as background noise for a while. And
Mm.
then the series on how to make $1,000 a week goes over, basically the start to finish, how to do it. I had a series where I started with $20. I abandoned that because it was too time consuming, but I literally was like went from 200 to 2000 in like 10 days because I just spent the majority of my time being picky. So I would say that if you go to a thrift store and you get in the habit of leaving with less than 5 things, even if you leave behind some stuff, you can always come back,
Yeah.
and it's better to leave with 5 things than 50. It's so easy to leave with too much stuff, and I want people to be really, really picky.
And I would agree with that. And as soon as I started looking at my data to guide me into what to buy and make good purchases, instead of like just getting excited about the thrill of it, I started seeing much better results in my profit margins. And I think I think we've hit on most of the questions. And I think you talking about your series is probably a good segue into what announcement I wanted to make. So I am teaming up with Chris from Daily Refinement. We are going to do a weekly series mentorship. So I will be checking in with Chris on his channel every week. And we've set goals together, and we're just starting, so this will kind of evolve, and we'll talk about it on his channel. So definitely make sure to subscribe to his channel to follow this series. I'll let him talk to it a little bit more because he's doing it with a couple other people as well. But essentially, I've set a goal for a year, and we are going to meet once a week to kind of check in on these goals. And I'm going to learn from him, and everybody else can follow the journey and learn as well. And then I'm also going to have Chris on my channel once a week as well, sometimes talking about what we talk about as things evolve in my mentorship, and sometimes just conversations like this, because I think Chris really has so much information to share with everybody. So Chris, I'm going to let you can speak to it a little bit better than I do about kind of your high level vision of what you want to do and what it's going to all involve.
Okay, so my objective is to help Sarah get to $1,000 a week net reselling part-time. So this is it's not part-time work. It's actually about 20 to 40 hours a week of work, but I think it's a perfect time to actually try this because Sarah is actually doing a bunch of transitioning. She's moving. She's also having to deal with the pandemic. There's a lot of things going on, which is great because real life is a lot of stuff going on. I'm not picking people who are single with unlimited money. That would be a terrible person to pick this. Like unlimited time, unlimited money is not relatable.
Well, you'd see great results,
You
but
would see results, but I'm looking for people who are busy. So what I would like to do is come up with 1 to 3 actionable things for the week. So as an example, it might be, let's make a dedicated photo area. Let's do something. So we pick 1 to 3 things and then check in each week. And the part that I like about this the most is it's never a good time ever. So you just start. And that's my favorite, like a few of my favorite sayings are start small, which means you can always get started and then you can always improve. So that's what I want to focus on for the entire year. And I want people to get this through their mind that if you were to write down what you can do in a day, it's almost nothing. But if you add that up, like 5 things a day is nothing, but 1,500 things in a year is insane. And so it's going to transform you. And I want people to create space. The point is not to work more. That's not really the point. The point is to get more done. So I want people to slowly increase, and you specifically, we want to slowly sell things that are more expensive or that you can get more than one of.
Yes. Yeah.
And we want to incorporate a little bit of help, which is great because you also have digital stuff. And I would really like to figure out, not necessarily a VA, but certain tasks I would like to at least have you have a win for me would be at the end of a year of doing this, you would have the option to outsource every single thing in your company and you just pick what you want to do.
I would love that.
So
I do outsource, and I'm a huge proponent of it. But you have to be able that has to be worth the time. Like if you outsource everything and then you're just paying for other people to do it. So I would
Mhm.
love to be able to figure out how to continue to have an income, but also just pick the things that I like.
And another thing that I want to stress is if you can't outsource, because people will say, I never want someone to work for me. But if I were to ask, are you ever interested in taking a vacation?
No, right. Yeah.
Right? Do you ever want to take a break? Because sometimes I want to take a break. When I went to Europe last year for 3 weeks, and my sales stayed the same
Yeah.
because I had somebody helping me. And it's not, even if I loved it, I still want to spend some time with my family. You at least have the option, right?
Right.
So I know a gentleman that does $1 million a year all by himself in Las Vegas, and he loves it. So he's like, I choose to not go on vacation and just hang out with my wife, eBay. That's it. That's his whole life.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. But everything in his business is still written out. So he treats it, and this is like kind of sad, but I want it to look like a job. You
Yes.
don't have to, it doesn't, I still feel like I don't ever work. I feel like I'm fun employed, right? But as
Well,
far
and
as
we were
like,
talking about that the other
mhm,
day where like I don't necessarily mind. A lot of what I do is for me. I don't necessarily mind all the time staying up after the kids go to bed because I don't
mhm,
feel like it's work so much. I get a lot of enjoyment out of I don't make money on YouTube right now. I got monetized, but they haven't finished the review. And even then it's going to be like $1. But I enjoy this work. I enjoy talking to the community. I enjoy
mhm,
all of that. But yes, I would like to see my family. Um, and my husband would agree. Right now, he is seeing me on TV, on
mhm,
YouTube. So I am definitely very excited about this. Me and Chris have been chatting back and forth for a couple, probably a week or two. I don't know how long. I
mhm.
don't even know what day it is. But I am really excited. He has already gotten some wheels going in my head on how to do things. So I'm excited to get started on this. I'm excited to share the journey with you and show you how a mom of 3 kids who's moving, who has all of the things, how I'm going to do it. And not there's a different way for everybody to do it. So hopefully people can spark something in them to take an idea from our conversation. So definitely make sure to go over and follow Chris on Daily Refinement to follow that journey. And then, like I said, I will have him on my channel once a week as well to check in and just talk, because I think there's lots of really good conversations that we can have with other resellers that bring up lots of good talk. So I do want to Oh, thank you, Am. Amber said, thanks or congrats on getting monetized. Unfortunately, CPM isn't great right now. Yeah, so I don't even know anything because I've been in progress because of what's happening for a while. So CPM, what does it stand for, Chris? You probably know what I know what it means, but
It,
I don't
it,
know what
it
it's
means it means cost per milli, which is Latin for thousand. So CPM is what advertisers pay for ads, and it makes sense right now because if you watch YouTube, most of the ads are politicians or the government, or YouTube Premium. They're not brands because brands are currently cash strapped. So it makes sense
happening.
that and this is a great lesson on e-commerce, when it's Q4 and people are spending a ton of money, ad rates are very high. Right now, people are not spending money. People are filing for unemployment. It's very different, right? So it's not a good time. I wouldn't be advertising, buy these things you don't need right now. So this is wise, and it's a great opportunity to get out there. If you are interested in building your audience, ads are, I mean, it's cheap right now. People are home, they're watching more stuff. You can build a brand for yourself. And I recommend for people who are starting YouTube like yourself, my wife gave me really good advice, which is when I first started, she's like, can you just do YouTube for a year and without worrying about the results? And I did. So I just made YouTube for a year, didn't worry about how much money I was going to make, and
What I
it turned out fine. And that's how I think reselling should be, because it might be, as we do this challenge, there might be a 1 month period where you don't resell at all. There might be a whole 3 months that goes by. There might be 2 weeks where you have there's a summer camp, and for 2 weeks you can crush. I don't know. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, and I mean, that's very much my life, especially because I'm not just a reseller. I mean, I'm in beta testing round 2 of a dashboard. And so that's actually where a lot of my time recently has been going, is to building a dashboard. So it is very fluctuating between all of the different things and a family that I am doing. Amber says, I think you actually get paid like 55% or something of your CPM. So if your CPM is $10, you get 5.5 per 1,000 views. I don't know any of this. I am like you, Chris. I was like, I'm just going to do this until I have enough data to really look and see what works. And then I can start building off of that. And so I've been at it for like 11 months. And now I'm like, okay, now I can look and see what people want, what views are, what's working, what.
So one more thought on CPM. So CPM is the literal term is cost per thousand, and YouTube or Google will split it with you, 55% to you and 45% to 45% to them. They keep it for finding the advertiser and posting it on your ad. This is really useful for people who are thinking about a channel. So for me, I can actually go directly to a company like eBay or Poshmark or Mercari and keep 100% of it. So this is in a lesson for people who are looking for, why are some channels not interested in, they do things very differently. I know channels with 3,000 subscribers that make $25,000 a month. And I know channels that have 250,000 subscribers and make 2,000 a month. It depends on what category you are in. If you are in how to, you earn a lot more money than if you are in pranks. Because, if you're Pepsi, you want to get like maybe a higher income person. And so you want to focus on how to channels, because how to people generally more educated, higher income than people watching toy unboxing are usually kids. So it depends on your audience. And this is also a good lesson on what you should sell on eBay. Right now, when I sell on eBay, I'm thinking about, what do people buy? When other people sell on eBay, they're thinking about, what can I find?
Yes, right.
And it's more difficult that way.
Well, yeah, and that's why I like your channel, because I'm more about what is going to sell, what is going to make me that money. Not, I love shopping. I mean, I love shopping, started it for sure. But so the Grateful Queen, or Queen Bee, is asking, can you clarify, is Chris offering a mentorship program? And so you were offering it, but I think all of your slots have been filled for the time being. Is that right?
Well, I have free mentorship for the month of April for anyone in my morning calls. So in the morning, I meet at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and talk to the same group of people every single day. That is going to be free for April. If you want to join that, you can just email me at Chris at Daily Refinement. But I only picked 2 people to do a whole year experiment, Sarah being one of them, where we can try to build it. And I'm picking people who are busy. Okay, I'll be transparent. I'm picking people who are busy, who I still think can do it. So I'm kind of cheating, because I just picked 2 people who I think would have done it anyway, even without me. Right.
Well,
So that's like that's really the plan.
I think you'll get me further, or it may be a little bit easier. Instead of me having to watch all of your stuff, I can just talk with you. When I have questions, I can just ask you, instead of watching all of your however many videos. What did you say? You have 800 videos?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Although that one, how to make $1,000 series, I will watch. So I think that is all of the questions that we have. I think I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. I want to thank everyone for joining, and you as well, Chris. Like I said, we will have this weekly call with Chris on my channel, and then also one on his channel as well, for an entire year to follow the journey. And then on my channel, it'll be some of the journey, some of me picking his brain for all of my followers. Liz says she's interested in the April program. Yeah, so you can email. His email information is on his YouTube. His information is all down below. I focus mainly on, it's all reseller content, but more analytical business sense. So if you like content like that, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications. Don't forget to give a like on your way out. And if you are watching this in the recording, feel free to leave comments down below for me, Chris as well. I will make sure that he gets them. He's also on Instagram, so you can hit him up on Instagram if you have questions there. I highly recommend following him on his channel too. Lots of really good content there. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, one more shout out for the survey that I'm doing. The more data that I have, the better my analysis can be. So it takes like 5 minutes if you keep track of your information, like your gross revenue and your total sales and stuff. It's completely anonymous, so I have no idea who you are. But the more data that I have, the better that I can do the analysis. Share it with every reseller that you know. You don't have to be a full-time reseller to fill it out. And then tomorrow I am doing a reseller happy hour as well, and that is open to anybody who would like to join. Send me a DM on Instagram and I will give you the link to join it. It is limited to so many people due to the software that I use, but it's open to anybody who wants to join. So send me a DM if you would like to join tomorrow, or hit a reminder on the YouTube link to join us on the call tomorrow. It's a reseller happy hour, pretty casual, laid back. Last time we played Have You Ever? So it's not anything ridiculous, just kind of getting out of being in self-quarantine with the same people all the time. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope everyone has a good night.
Thanks, guys.